Okay, so my name is Filipo Nelsono. I'm from an agency called Forsman & Bodenfors in Sweden. And it's interesting to come after Fernando talking about building an agency in a place like Brazil, because my little speech will be quite the opposite. It will be about building an agency in a place famous for a roller coaster, a fish market, and horrible weather. That place is Gothenburg, and it's up there close to the North Pole. And in Gothenburg, basically, all the good agencies are up in Stockholm. But we happen to live in Gothenburg, and we wanted to stay there, so we decided that we should try to build a world-class agency out of Gothenburg. Many people told us that was a very naive dream, and it was. But I think that in creativity, being naive can sometimes be a good thing. And since that day, the agency has picked up 37 lions here in Cannes and been voted best agency in Sweden for 15 consecutive years. And what I'll try to do here today is just try very quickly, because time is running short, very quickly try to explain how this naive machine, how it works. I think it's amazing how conservative the advertising industry is, and 99% of all agencies are organized the same way. It doesn't matter if you're in Mumbai, India, or in Sao Paulo, or in Stockholm, or in New York. The structure is the same. And it's a model that was developed in America before the Second World War. It's different departments, lots of hierarchy. And I think the funny thing is that it hasn't changed. It hasn't really changed for 50 years. And I think that's funny, because our industry is all about flexibility and creativity, but this is kind of static. So last week when I wrote this speech, I tried to think about other organizations which are a bit sort of conservative and stiff. And I thought about the military, and hospitals are quite stiff as well. And the Catholic Church is quite stiff. And then I couldn't stop myself from kind of trying to rank them. And in that ranking, the advertising industry came out as the second most conservative organization. It's second only to the Russian army. At Forsman & Bodenfors, we try to stay away from all that, simply because we think there are more efficient ways of running a creative organization, and also because we think hierarchies are boring. So in F&B, there are only 3 titles. We have a CEO, we have a financial officer, and a spokesperson. I went out last week and counted in the office, and I think we are 49% creatives, which means that we are trying really hard to keep administration at a very lean level. At F&B, everybody sits in one big room, simply because it makes life more interesting for everybody. So in our agency, planners sit next to art directors, who sit next to account executives, next to copywriters, and so on. It's all mixed up. Have a look. This is how it looks. Okay, now maybe you wonder, who's the owner of this agency? And I'm the owner, together with 27 of my colleagues. And the funny thing is, we all own exactly the same share, which is kind of frustrating for some people when you talk about it, because they can't really understand how we make decisions. And it's even more provocative to Americans, because they think it comes close to communism. But, of course, this has nothing to do with politics. It's all about stability, it's about culture, and it's about friendship. A good thing is that because all key people are partners, it is very unlikely that tomorrow 2 teams walk out and make a new agency. So I think this model will continue to grow. And as you can see, I left some space in the bottom there, so if there is anybody here who wants to become a partner, there is room for you too. Ownership is one thing, but the most important thing about F&B is the floor. And the floor is what we call our creative process. And that creative process is all about making as many people as possible perform at 125% of their potential. And they do so because they get so much help from other people. So